What's up? What's up? What's up, Facebook? It is Tuesday. And you guys know what goes down here on Tuesday. Wife Chat goes down here on Tuesday. So do me a favor and make sure that you hit the share button and let all my one sexy wives know that Wife Chat is going down here on Facebook. I am so excited. I'm going to continue a topic that I started last week. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Make sure that you're hitting the share button and letting all my one sexy wives know that Wife Chat is going down here on Facebook, and I'm so excited. I'm going to continue a Wife Chat that I did from last Tuesday. Last Tuesday, I was talking about painful sex, the physical part about it. So if you have not been able to enjoy that video, make sure that you go back to next Tuesday and look at what I talked about for painful sex when it came to the physical. And today I am going to talk about painful sex when it comes to the mental side of things. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Hey, Kiana, how are you? Thank you so much. Make sure that you're hitting the share button and letting all my one sexy wives know that Wife Chat is going down here on Facebook. Again, thank you guys so much for hopping on. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm super excited about tonight's topic. I just want to say, to all you guys, thank you so much for joining me for my second virtual conference, Becoming the One Sexy Wife. It was amazing. It was phenomenal, and I truly appreciate you guys. And if you missed it, the recordings are on sale for $19.99, and I will be posting a link for that. Again, you will get the playbook, you will get all of the resources, you will get three amazing videos, and I really poured in, and I was very open and honest about everything that I do, that led me up to do what I do to this day. And I give you some really good tools and strategies that will really help you in your marriage. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. Thank you so much for hitting the share button. I appreciate you guys. Hello, 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 everybody. Hello. And so again, tonight I want to deal with the mental part of sometimes not wanting to engage in sex. And this actually came from a wife that was saying, help, Gail, sex is very painful for me. But she did not say to me if sex was painful to her physically or was painful to her mentally. So I decided that I would break it up in two parts. So again, if you did not get the first part of the teaching, I talked about all the physical things that could be going wrong with your body and your vagina, and I gave you some tools and strategies that you could, some remedies that you could probably do at home. My big suggestion is always go see your GYN, because that's your very first course of action. But look at that video. I got nothing but positive feedback. I know there was a couple of women that tried some of the things that I mentioned on there, and it's been working. So I thank you so much for your feedback, because again, sometimes when I'm on here and I'm teaching, I'm not really sure if you guys are utilizing the tools and strategies that I give you, or you just hopping on here or whatever. So I thank you so much for your feedback. Just saying, Gail, I tried this work. I tried this product. It worked. I tried this new position and that worked. Whatever it is, I thank you so much for your feedback. And again, thank you guys so much for hopping on here and hitting the share button. So let's get into the mental part of painful sex, right? And what I really want you to get out of this class is that 90% of having amazing sex is mental. It literally is mental. And sometimes when we have mental blocks when it comes to sex and intimacy, it can literally change your whole trajectory of not just your sex life, not just the part of intimacy, not just the part of how you love and relate to your spouse, but it literally can change the trajectory of how your marriage can turn out. Because most people that are in marriages want some type of intimacy, some type of closeness, some type of togetherness. And a lot of times the way we connect with our spouses is through sex and intimacy, right? And when that breaks down, that can literally cause a lot of strain on a marriage. I don't care what anybody says, it can cause a lot of strain in the marriage. The only way it does not cause strain in the marriage is if both parties have agreed that they're going to be in a sexless marriage, right? And it could be for health reasons, it could be for so many different reasons. But let me just tell you, statistics say that 80% of marriages will fail if it is not a mutual thing when it comes to withholding sex, right? 80%, that is a high number of marriages that will fail when sex is taken out of the equation, because we was created to be sexual beings, especially in the confines of marriage, right? Now, again, if you have agreed, if there's medical issues or whatever, but let me just tell you, whenever a couple agrees and there's medical issues, or they have agreed not to have intercourse, most of the time other things are introduced into the bedroom, not other people, but other things to keep that closeness and that intimacy, okay? And that's a whole different class. But let me just tell you, 80% of marriages fail, okay? And let me just give you some reasons why sex, it can affect you mentally. And these are just some common things that I have dealt with in my coaching practice over the last 15 years. So it could be anxiety about so many different things, like, am I going to live up to my husband's expectations? Anxiety about, so many different aspects of being a woman can take over. Depression. A lot of women don't want to admit it, but most women and some men deal with depression, some form of depression. And if it's it's a roller coaster, right? But most of the time, if you get in the depressed state and you stay there, you really need to seek some help, because depression can spill over into so many other areas of your life. Unforgiveness is another thing that can seep in and literally zap you of wanting to be intimate with your husband. Low self-esteem, right? We are inundated every single day by images of what we consider beautiful women, thin women, tall women, short women, or whatever that looks like. And let me just tell you, I was in the fashion industry for a long, long time. A lot of that stuff is not real. A lot of those women are not shaped the way they're shaped. I mean, I have taped a lot of women, duct taped a lot of women into clothes, all kind of different things. We're inundated with so many different things. So you have to literally be comfortable with who you are. Infidelity is another huge one that makes you mentally check out from wanting to engage with sex with your husband. After you have children, postpartum depression can last for up to 10 years, and it could go longer if it's untreated. So if you're dealing with depression again and you don't know where it's stemming from, you really need to get help. Marital problems, all kind of marital problems could be going on. You could have bad communication, bad spending habits, not coming home at night. How we gonna raise the children? All of those things can help mentally block you from really wanting to engage with sex with your spouse. Financial issues, being thoughtless, when if your husband is thoughtless against you, he doesn't show you that he even thinks about you, or he even acknowledges that you're there, right? Being insensitive, unkindness, hurtful teasing, right? Sometimes men will say stuff to you and they think it's being funny, but you really internalize that, like, oh, your butt then got big, or whatever it could be, that you can internalize that, right? And he thinks he's being funny, but to us, we internalize it as being hurtful, or we're not attractive anymore. Being selfish, being controlling, the silent treatment, ignoring you, unresolved in-laws issues. Sometimes our in-laws get involved in stuff and you need to check them and he's not checking them. So you begin to pull away because you feel that they mean more to him than you do, right? And we always say he's supposed to leave and cleave to you and all of this kind of stuff. So you got some, in-laws issues. Putting others first, lack of intimacy, right? And a lot of times when we deal with lack of intimacy, it's that you just feel like you're just being used to have intercourse with. There is nothing happening outside of the bedroom, like holding hand, hugs, kisses, anything like that. You begin to feel like you just a piece of meat laying in the bed. All of those things, plus I could go give you a whole entire list of other things, can literally make you check out mentally when it comes to really enjoying sex with your spouse. And I always say, if you are at that point where you have mentally checked out, and it could be abuse, it could be so many different things. Like I said, I gave you a list of 20. I could give you a list of probably 1,000 things that I can name. But of course, for the sake of time, I can't do that. But let me just tell you, if I named anything that struck a chord with you, or if you want to put some of the stuff in the chat, feel free to do so. Because let me just tell you, even though I probably don't go through the whole entire thread, I go back after I end this and I will answer and I will respond to every single message on here before I go to bed. And most of you guys know I go to bed at 9 o'clock because I'm up at 4 a.m. praying for marriages all over the world. And it's funny because some people will call me at 4 a.m. and I answer the phone just like I'm talking to you. And they're like, you really are up. Yes, I really am up because I have dedicated my life to doing this work and eradicating divorce. So let me just say this. When you're dealing and you know that you have checked out mentally and sex has become a chore, or you do things to avoid engaging in sexual activities with your husband, let me just tell you, that is a huge red flag, because again, like I said, 80% of marriages fail when you get into a sexless situation with your spouse, okay? And I don't want you to end up that way. So let me give you some tools and strategies to really make you turn the corner and really to give you some things to think about in order to restore that, right? Because again, you always want to be in a position where you and your husband are working on it. Not perfect, but always working on it. And if you know that that's a void, or you know that that's something you avoid on a daily basis, because sex should be enjoyable. It should not be a chore. It shouldn't be like, oh my God, here we go. It shouldn't be any of those things. And if it is, you need to address that, and you need to address it quickly. The first thing is you need to find out the root cause of what's keeping you mentally checked out. You not engaging in sex, that is the surface. What is the root cause? Is it any of those things that I talked about? Is it unresolved saying that you're sorry? Is it that you are stressed? Are you interested in somebody else? What is it that has made you mentally check out from your husband? Is it that he's not sexually pleasing you and you don't know how to tell him? Listen, I wrote a whole entire book on how to talk to your husband and how to please you. And if you don't know how to please yourself, then it's going to be very hard for him to please you, because you need to be the roadmap. You need to be the conductor of allowing him to understand what pleases you. And you need to be able to verbalize that. So what is it? Number 2 is find a way to talk to your spouse about your true feelings, right? And sometimes we find that very, very hard because for one, you don't want to emasculate him. For 2, sometimes when you're just not able to talk about what's for dinner, that can cause a whole bunch of different situations. But you're going to have to find a way to communicate with your spouse. So if you can't sit down and you don't ever go to a man and say, I want to talk to you, because that's like already getting him in a defensive posture. What you need to say is, honey, I want to speak to you about a situation. Can you tell me what is the best time for us to talk? Let him tell you when is the best time for you guys to talk. And when you get ready to talk to him about one Subject, not all 20 that you have on your mind, but one subject. So it could go something like this. If he says, I'm ready to talk, say, I want to talk about our sex life. I want to talk about how we can become more intimate. And stick with that. Whatever that is, stick with that. Don't talk about the dogs or cats because you're going to lose them. Stick with one thing. But you're going to have to find a way to communicate. And if you're not verbally able to communicate with him, sit down and write it out or type it out and give it to him and say, whenever you're ready to talk about this, I'm ready to listen. Because if you don't, you're going to continue to mentally check out, be frustrated. He's going to be frustrated. And then that opens the door for so many other different things like infidelity and all of these other different things. Okay. Number 3, try to come up with coping mechanisms that work for you. And what do I mean by that? If you know that it is appalling or you're walking in forgiveness and having sex is a chore, you need to come up with some coping mechanisms that's going to work for you. And what do I mean? Okay, let me go take a shower. Let me relax my mind. Let me put on some music that calms my nerves. Whatever that looks like, you need to start implementing them until you can get past that stumbling block. Because if you don't, again, you're opening the door for so many different things to happen in your marriage. Number 4, include your spouse in your healing. Put things in place together. Once you're able to verbalize what the situation is that is keeping you from enjoying sex, whatever that looks like, it could be finances, coming up with a budget. It could be infidelity. I need to know the whole entire truth. I need for you to be able to put these steps in place for me to know and feel secure back in this marriage. I need for you to go get all your HIV and all your testing because I'm afraid that since you stepped out on the marriage, I might end up with something. So that would make me feel better. Whatever that looks like for you, come up with it together. Okay. Number 5, choose to forgive. You're staying with him for a reason. So why continue to keep putting commas behind the hurt? Put a period behind it and learn to move on. I did not say that you had to forget. I said you need to learn to forgive. Because let me just tell you, you waste a lot of time, a lot of energy, and you have a lot of unfulfilled things going on when you choose to just hold on to unforgiveness. And they always say forgiveness is for you and not for the other person, because literally carrying that weight can lead to so many different other unhealthy things that can happen in your life. We end up with ulcers, we end up with fibroids, we end up with so many different things because we are givers of birth, right? So we carry a lot of things in our wombs. That's the reason why we always say we're trying to get a flat stomach, is because we internalize a lot of things and we carry a lot of things in our bellies because we are birthing canals. Okay. So I'm just that's off the thing. But anyway, number 6, focus on sharing different types of pleasure and intimacy. You don't always have to just focus on intercourse. Focus on doing something that is sensual, that will help you get to the point where you're able to have intercourse. So you can do massages, you can do, sexting, you can do so many different other things besides just having intercourse if you're not there yet. But you still want to have that physical touch with your spouse. It's the most important thing. Physical touch on a regular basis with your spouse. I can't stress how important that is. Okay. Number 7, set the stage for romance, right? You have to literally set the stage for romance. Clean up your room, put on some aromatherapy, clean yourself up, put on some lingerie, quit going to bed like you looking going to combat. You have to set the stage for romance, especially if you're struggling. Because literally, if you change the atmosphere, you change the way you feel and you interact. So set the stage for romance. Show something different. Have sex in a different room. Do something different. If you want a different cake, you got to put a different batter in the mix. Wouldn't you agree? And basically, you're shifting and renewing your mind towards intimacy with your spouse. Number 8, become confident in who you are and what you bring to the table in the marriage, especially if it has been mentally abused and you're feeling like, he always talks down to you, or you feel like you're not attractive to him anymore, or whatever. You have to be confident in who you are and what you bring to the table. You are valuable because he chose you. You are valuable. And that's the reason why I created the program, Loving Him Without Losing You. Because again, sometimes we get so caught up in our spouses and what they're doing, and aiding them and making sure they're taken care of. We lose who we are and the identity that we have and what we bring to the table, right? And I was that person. I got caught up being in Gil's wife and Justin and Joshua's mom and all of these different kind of things. I didn't know if I was coming or going. And so I started lowering the value of who I was. And I had to realize I was valuable and I brought a lot to the table. And so you have to gain that confidence back, because a man wants a very confident woman. And number 8, ask God into your marital bed. I'm not saying for you to pray the Canton spirituals while you having sex or intimacy. What I'm saying is you need to begin to pray over your sex life, because literally God can literally change and renew your mind towards your husband and allow you to walk into forgiveness. Right. And so I want to really make sure that I stress that you need to invite God into your marital bed. And let me just tell you, it's nothing like it. If you ever have experienced spiritual sex, I'm telling you, it's mind blowing. That's the reason why I wrote the ebook that you can get free on my website, called Mind Blowing Sex, God's Way, because let me just tell you, it's nothing like it. And number 10, if you are really still struggling and you don't know which way to turn, you need to seek help. There is help out there for you. You need to seek mental help. There's counseling, there's coaching, there's psychotherapy. There's so many different people and qualified people that can help you. Because again, you don't want to continue to struggle. You want to find out what is the root cause that is keeping you mentally blocked from experiencing intimacy, love, and amazing sex. And so I hope that this helps my wife from last week, because again, if you did not watch part 1 of this, I literally addressed all the physical things that could be going wrong. And today, my prayer is that you guys seen some of the mental things that could be going on when it comes to having, painful sex. And when I say painful sex, that is literally pains you, and you really, get withdrawn when it's time to engage with sex with your spouse. So let me go on here and see anything that's going on. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know who this other person is. Hello, Ebony. Hello, everybody. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Cassandra. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Truly Wed Wives, Deidre. Hi, everybody. Hi, Kat. Hi, everybody. I don't want to miss anybody, but hello, everybody. And thank you guys so much for hopping on. Let me just give you some stuff. Again, leading up to Black Friday, I'm going to be running an amazing special for my coaching thing called Loving Him Without Losing You. Your mind's going to be blown when I give you the price for that. So be looking out for that. Also, the One Sexy Wife Roundup. I'm telling you, it is coming. It's going to be amazing, off the chain. The link to join us, again, you don't want to miss out, because once I sell out, it's going to, I don't even know what to say. I've been telling you it's going to sell out. It's happening. So if you have not registered for the One Sexy Wife Roundup, you need to go ahead and do it today. Because again, for 1, the price is going up. For 2, I've been running a special BSB Gail at the checkout, and it saves you $36. That's going to be going away. And so again, I want you guys to join us in Washington, D.C. It's going to be amazing. I don't even know what to tell you. It's going to be off the chain. I just secured some amazing things for you guys. Goodie bags. I'm telling you, they will tell you. I don't give out goodie bags where it's a bunch of pen and a piece of paper. I give you stuff that you can actually go home and implement, and like massage oils and all kind of lubes and stuff, like stuff that's really sexy and hot. So I just secured some more stuff for y'all goodie bags today. It's gonna be bananas. I'm telling you, it's gonna be bananas. I'm teaching the show this year. I'm a forward thinker, so I'm thinking this, next year I'm going to be teaching the show this year. So I'm going to teach you how to give correct fellatio. Like, it's going to be off the chain. I mean, we got the art of the strip. We got, boudoir photography. Where can you get all of that under one roof in one conference? Come on, ladies. What are you waiting for? Just hit the link above. Again, I love you guys to pieces. If you have any topics that you want me to discuss here on Wife Chat, you guys know how to contact me. You can go to my website, gailcrowder.com. The link is up there. If you want to hit me up in a private message, you can do that as well. The videos for the virtual conference are available. Like I said, I got BSB going on. And let me just tell you guys, starting January the 1st, I'm moving Wife Chat to my YouTube channel. And I'll give you guys more information about that. And I'm doing it for a couple of reasons, but I'm moving it to my YouTube channel. So my prayers, you guys are going to follow me over there. If not, God's going to create a whole nother audience. But again, I will still be doing Tuesday Wife Chat. It'll just be on my YouTube channel. And so I'll give you guys more information about that when I get ready to move over there. But again, I love you guys to pieces. Have an amazing night. I will still be on here answering your questions. If you have any comments or whatever, please put them in the chat. If you're too embarrassed to put it in the chat, make sure you hit me up in my personal email, and I will make sure I get back with you. I love you guys. Have an amazing night.